Welcome. It is no accident that you have found your way to the Release the Genie podcast. What would you do with 3 wishes? And what if you discovered that you are in fact that very genie that could grant them? Well, join us now as we discover who our next genie is as we listen in and learn the stories of triumph, inspiration, and passion with some very special guests. And now, without further delay, your host of the Release the Genie podcast, Mr. Paul Rogers.
So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. Today, I have the great pleasure of speaking to somebody who already lives in the future. He is in the beautiful land of Oz. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about him so I then set the scene. He has a elite brand, which is 4 words: Pjero, passion, love, peace. I mean, if you could throw 4 words together like dynamite, that's got to be it. He spent 20 years in leadership, and he looks for exceptional results in both professional and personal. He has created a wonderful business, which is Addicted to Grow, which he started in October 2017. And it's a real holistic approach. It's physical, mental, and financial growth. So it's kind of like everything. So before I hand over to the wonderful man himself, I'm just going to leave you 3 catchwords, which is energy cultivation, growth expert, and self-respect. So I'm going to hand over to the wonderful Pjero. Hello there and welcome, my friend.
Hello, my man. How are you, Paul? Thank you so much for your commitment to you and all your audience for having me today.
To be honest, I met Pjero recently on another program, and he just blew me away with his energy and powerhouse. So buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. We're in for a ride tonight. So tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Okay, firstly, I kind of want to set a baseline for us. And that is, you know, there are leaders that are out there that are in pain and they're hurting right now. Usually, mental health and well-being is aimed at the employer level, not at the senior executive level. Pre-COVID, any senior executive who had an addiction, they could easily mask it. But currently in COVID, this has not only been escalated and highlighted, but sex addiction, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, gambling, respectively, is just multiplied right now. And due to their stigmatization in the role that they play, the question that I want to dig into is, who do they turn to? Now, it's easy. I partner with senior executives to obviously achieve exponential leadership results personally and professionally. But I am committed to providing a solution to those chronic pains that those senior executives are experiencing, because right now I feel as if there's a real sense of urgency with this issue. So, Paul, what I do is I partner with those executives.
That's amazing, because you're absolutely right. And when you were talking, it kind of just dawned on me that everything is, you know, at that level, but no one's looking after the leaders, and they're just expected to find their own way. But I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, if I'm late to the party, but that's just kind of just that. I mean, that's amazing. I get it. And now I can understand really how important your company name is now. Because to be able to grow, you need to. It's a 2-part equation.
Yeah. And there's so much power behind what leaders are doing for us. They're doing so much. And I walk, when I meet with businesses, you know, the CEOs of like the Salvation Army, or I'm meeting with, Mr. Waterhouse, one of the hugest, names in Australia when it comes to horse racing. Like I'm saying to them, it's all good and well that you guys look after your employees, but the question is like, who do you turn to?
Mm.
And for me as well, it's simple. I've got my own coach, I've got my own mentor. So I've got someone to turn to, they've got someone to turn to. But these major corporations, senior executives, SFOs, STOs, SMOs, like SOOs, COOs, like they don't turn to anyone because they're expected to just be, hey, I'm a leader, I can cop it. But it's kind of like, and I know that we're all using vulnerability as a buzzword, but let's just get one thing straight here. And I hope the audience can respect where this is coming from. Even the dictionary meaning of the word vulnerable says the possibility to be ashamed or hurt by saying something. The possibility. So even the dictionary meaning says the word possibility too, which means there must be the possibility to be happy, because if you're going to put one side out there, you've got to put the other side out there. So, this is one thing, this is one area that I'm really expanding into right now. I've got Addicted to Grow, and that's completely self-ran. And I'm working on Pjero, which is now the senior leadership team.
It's amazing because you're impacting the impactors, and it's keeping these guys on the front line, and effectively keeping them fueled, keeping them ready to carry on. I love it. I love it, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I mean, to be honest, you've just gone from hero to legendary status now. So, and Genie Genie's just what you are. So tell us a little bit about your aha, your release the Genie moment.
Wow. I've got a few. I'm probably going to talk about the biggest one. When I was opening Addicted to Grow, it started off as, so a tiny little bit more background. Addicted to Grow, I created nearly 10 years ago, but I just never did anything with it. I didn't open a business. I just secured the name. I knew that I was going to do something with it. And at that time, I was studying physical education, so personal training. I did my Cert 3, I did my Cert 4 about 10, 12 years ago now. And what I did was I wanted to focus on building myself and understanding growth, right? I was just like, I want big muscles and I wanted to do this. And I did some bodybuilding and I did some powerlifting, and I've got all coaching certificates in all these industries. But what I started to really notice was that it was all about mental state. So I used to say it's 80% mental, 20% turning up, right? Now it's 100% commitment. I've completely evolved. It's 100% commitment. If you're not committed, you got nothing, right? And there's a stepping stone to get to committed. So my biggest aha moment was when I opened my business, and I was putting so much focus into my business that I was losing my mind. I started going off track. I started getting angry. I started being physically explosive, because I was just like, my business isn't running right. And I would, my kids would hear it, my wife would hear it, my relationship fell apart. My aha moment was when I turned 3 years ago to the moment of, I need to work on myself. I need to work on myself. I need to find out where my addictions are coming from, where my anger patterns are coming from. I need to understand even where the attention seeking, what other deep rooted addictions that I didn't even know I had. That would have been 3 years ago when I had that aha moment.
I mean, it's such a powerful thing, because it's one thing to see it, but it's another thing to actually witness it and recognize. I think that's the real big thing, get to a point you think, okay, something's got to change.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing is then you'll be able to tip that back into your business.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that's what happened.
Yeah, no, it's really good. And I can see that it's, anyone watching this will feel inspired because you've managed to turn something back to helping people. So wonderful, wonderful stuff. I'm really intrigued to now know, what was your, or what is your inspiring quote or mantra?
Ooh. Okay, so I've got, I've got Addicted to Grow. So Addicted to Grow is addictions, transfer to growth habits. And then there's conquer your mind, unleash your soul. And that also goes with discover, understand, and transform. Discover, understand, transform, right? So that's the mantra for Addicted to Grow. And then there is the Pjero brand, which is like a whole new beast, right? This is what I've been working on lately. This is a whole new beast. And when I had to dig deeper, right? Because conquer your mind, unleash your soul is already deep. And I was like, wow, how am I gonna find another level to that for these senior executives to just go, okay, I need to talk to him. There's something there. So now there's Pjero Mardesic, which is the name, and that is conquer the uncomfortable and unleash your potential. And that is unearth, integrate, evolve. So the whole idea about truly unearthing everything that you've got, just letting go of all of the shit, all of the lies, all of the addiction. What is the deep stuff? Unearth all that. Integrate the new stuff. And then evolve into who you want to be out there. So when you see it, you have to be it today. So integrate that, evolve into it. And it's powerful. It's coming out. I can't wait. November 1.
Yeah, I mean, I could November, the 1st November, fantastic, right? We heard it here first. It's a Genie exclusive. And I can feel that energy because, you know, it's not empty words with you. And, you know, the whole idea of people putting down the mask and then not throwing the baby out the bathwater, but actually adding and pushing together the best bits. I mean, wonderful, wonderful stuff. Very inspiring.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to ask you what's one of your setbacks? Because like in any film, there's always a villain or an adversity. So tell us about something which you've had to overcome.
My own addiction.
Wow.
My own addiction. And there's a few of them. And respectively, I want the audience to understand, you know, that addictions don't have to be drug related, because the thought pattern, the fear that we run away from, the symptom of the pain mentally or physically is all the same. So, you know, attention seeking, and I can relate that back to as young as 12 years old, probably even younger. So when I started to unearth myself, there was the pornography addiction. So if I think back to as young as the age of 10, when I was introduced or I was shown it, thinking that it was nothing and how much of an impact that had on me moving forward. Attention, pornography, and then, they would be my two biggest ones. They would be my biggest setbacks. They hurt the most because there was so much neglect. The deepest root cause was just neglect. And not in a way that people would really understand that may know me, because I've grown up with privilege and plenty. So the neglect was the thoughts in my head, thinking that I was never good enough, thinking that I didn't have what it takes. The attention that I was receiving, I never saw it as bullying. I turned it into attention. So then I just started to continuously talk to someone. There are moments where I couldn't go through the shopping, and I guess there's a fine line. There was moments where I couldn't go through the shopping teller without having a conversation with the person on the other side. Now, some would say, why is that a problem? Because I'm too quiet. Some people would say I'm too quiet. Well, I'm so extroverted that it's like a thing. It's like a thing. Like I'm addicted to talking to people. I'm addicted to, and then I understood, and I started to understand that it's so much better being quiet. It's so much better being quiet and asking a different style of question, promoting someone else to speak rather than talking myself, rather than hearing myself speak. It was asking the right question to a person, at a checkout, asking at a party, speaking last at an event, at a forum, speaking last, like all of this. They were my setbacks. I had this fear of being disliked. And now I have this courage to be disliked. Like I'm willing to question everything now. I'm looking for the dangerous conversations.
That's awesome. I mean, what really hit me there was the massive scope of the word addiction, because if you said addiction to anybody in the street, they'd roll off the normal ones, but you've enlarged that to behaviors which most people think, oh, I didn't realize. And again, recognizing is the part when then you can start making changes or asking for help.
Asking for help was my biggest one. Asking for help was my biggest one.
Yeah.
Truly understanding where it was coming from. And like I said, just neglect, self-worth, like self-neglect. And then when I take that all the way back down to my parents and my upbringing, my dad especially was so heavy on try again, son, try again. And I saw that as if like, okay, I'll keep trying, but I was never allowed to do it. He was there. My dad taught me everything, by the way. And he taught me, keep doing this, keep trying. And I saw the word keep trying as like, oh, that's not good enough. Oh, okay, I'll keep trying. Whereas we say that to children these days, and it's kind of like, don't give up, keep trying. And it's like, it was just all the way I was taught, because we are only everything we're ever taught, right? And if we just exasperate that for a moment and look from up here as a generalization of public, we think, oh, boys are just like that. No, they're not. They're not. That's a stigmatization. That's a stereotype that we're putting on boys or men. It's not. This conversation could go so many directions, but for example, there are so many known but unspoken problems, even with, what do you call them? Subscription sites for men, right? And women put themselves out there. Men put themselves out there too. So it's not just men and women, right? But the amount of money that's being spent on these subscriptions of self-satisfaction to look at a body, whether it be male or female, is exponentially poor. There's a problem. There's a problem. And there's an industry. I get it. There's also an industry. There's two sides to every coin. I get it. But like, what if we were on the forefront of providing a service on the website just to say, hey, look, you've spent X amount of dollars. There's got to be a duty of care somewhere. Seriously, like it's part of the cycle of people, money, problems, addictions, anger, fear. Like, Paul, the conversation could last all day.
Yeah, no, I can feel that. And also, you're not narrow in your views, which is a really refreshing, I am a life coach and that's it. No, you've got such a great overview, as you said. And that's a huge advantage. So tell me, what is cooking in your kitchen at the moment? Because
oh wow.
So I'm excited about this. So hit me with it.
Okay, so part of the idea of raising the level of consciousness in the world, which is obviously our greatest vision, you and I both, right? Some of the things that I've been working on now is obviously helping people create this awareness of where either their money's going or where their attitude's going or their state of mind, body and soul. And that has brought me to this bad boy, which has just been edited. It's just been published. So now it's starting to roll off the printer. This is the Resilience Journal. So this is the epitome of everything that I wanted to put together for Addicted to Grow. It's personal development, obviously, right? But the benefit is this. So we talk about it takes roughly an average of 21 days to create a habit. Right? We talk about that. Now, realistically, it's about 66 to nearly 100. So if we just give it 100 days, let's just be an estimate of 100 days. Okay. So the whole idea of the book is this. You read an affirmation and then you get a picture which is positively stimulating. Then you get optimistic words. So for example, happy people create happiness when you wake up, choose to chase your dreams, continue to bounce back every day. When you chase your goals, you will be criticized by others repeatedly for following your dreams. This is only a reflection of the other person. Spread energy by showing others that you can achieve your goals, right? So it's optimistic realism. It's not positive, and I want, the crowd to understand, or the audience, it's not positive bullshit. It's optimistic. Yeah. It's optimistic, right? And there's a big difference, right? So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, right? These are positively stimulating. Then each day, what are 3 positive things that happened to you today and why are they positive to you? So the first question is, you've got to think of 3 positive things. So there's 1, 2, 3, plus another 3 is already 6. Then you've got, and why are they positive to you? Then you've got, so then you're thinking of more reason of why they're positive to you, right? So there's another 3, that's 9. Then you've got to write them, 10. Then you've got to read them, 11. And then not only that, the last page is all about resilience, is continuously backing back to what you truly want in your life, and repeat after me. And then you say this 3 times. So there's 15. So in one sitting, you're thinking of 15, you're repeating these things 15 times, right? And then not only that, that one page lasts for 7 days. So you do that for 7 days straight. So in 1 week, you got 15 times 7. So nearly in 1 week, you've nearly covered that whole, 15 sevens are what, 60? We'll work that out, right? Let's get a calculator. We'll work that out for the audience.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, right? So 15 times 7 in 7 days is nearly 100 already.
Yeah.
So in 7 days worth of positive thinking, it's just activating that reticular activating system so that you positively start to just live in the world of raising your consciousness to positivity. And I can guarantee you that's for 52 weeks, by the way. That's a 52-week journal. There are 52 different affirmations, 52 different quotes. It's totally, it's a 1-year journal for anyone that's watching, the whole idea. That's what's cooking. So that was the epitome of Addicted to Grow and what it's all about.
That's awesome. Where can we find it? Is it on?
Yeah, so it's on the website. I can give you the link to the website. It's also just through any link click on all my socials, all my handles, and I just want to throw this out there: free shipping. So if you want to know the price, go and see the the page. But the book's free shipping around the world. You tell me where you are, I'll send it to you.
Awesome.
I'll send you one. I'm going to send you one, Paul.
Oh,
I'm going to send you one.
That's my next 52 weeks sorted out. So I'm very, very happy. And talk about value, a year's worth of value in one place. So I love it. It's something I haven't heard put there. And as you rightly say, everyone's kind of talking about it, but that's really compact and I love it. Yeah. It's really, really good. Well, that's fantastic. And you're obviously going to be doing a bit of promotion for that as well. So
yep, I'm going to hit that. I'm going to hit that over the next week. So all of my socials are going to have the call to action, spread out over a weekly or fortnightly, but you can go straight to the website and get it now as well. So
awesome. Great stuff. And I'm so pleased to ask what's cooking in the kitchen. I have not been disappointed.
Thank you, Thank you, mate.
No, that's cool. Let's move to the second part, which is my favorite bit, which is the time I get to ask you as the genie for 3 wishes. So are you ready, almighty genie?
Yes.
He's up for it now. I can tell. Okay. Wish number 1. What was the best advice you have ever received?
I think it was from Dr. Daniel Amen. And some of you out there might know Dr. Daniel Amen. He's a psychologist or psychotherapist, and he studies and works with people with ADD and ADHD. And he does SPECT scans on the brain, and how no matter what age you are, if you start looking after yourself, your brain can actually grow younger. So those of you, if you're interested, look up Dr. Daniel Amen. He's amazing. I remember reading a part of an email that he sent out. Now, this is general, but obviously this is like the best advice that I've ever read. And it said this, that our brain cells, once they're damaged, they don't actually repair. They're the only cell in the body that doesn't actually repair itself. The only way to create a new brain cell is to learn a new task. The moment that I read that, and then I also heard him say that in a speech, I'm pretty sure it was one of his TEDx speeches. The moment I heard it as well, I was like, hang on a minute. So you're telling me, oh my God, like it just started clicking. And I was like, okay, from this moment on, I'm just going to read book after book. And I've read a book a week for the last 3 years. So I just started playing card games. I just started playing chess again. I started playing drafts. I started playing badminton. Like I just went back to those stimulating. Now, when I say stimulating, I don't want the crowd to get all in the wrong way, because obviously for children, the stimulating way for them to stimulate their brain at the moment is computer games and mobile phones. And our greatest addiction that's on the rise right now is dopamine, which is self-produced. So what I mean is those natural things, eating fruit, playing an instrument, singing, like listening to tunes, listening to tones. So all of a sudden, that was the best piece of advice, because I was like, hang on a minute, I can grow my brain younger by learning all this new stuff, and I'm just going to create new brain cells. So I just thought to myself, life is limitless now.
To be honest, you're absolutely right. It's like discovering a whole new world and arena and sandbox to go and play in.
Yeah.
Powerful, powerful stuff. I mean, wow. Anyone who's listening there, write that down, because that's really good. So we're going to move on to wish number 2 now. So wish number 2 is, what advice would you give your younger self?
Ooh, this is a 2-part answer for me. Number 1, if you're listening out there, no matter what age you are, water the 36 inches around your feet, because the grass is only green where you water it. So that's what I would tell my younger self. If I could go back, it would be like, just learn now. Like, I mean, if you're back at school right now, kick your ass into gear and just learn as much as you can. And then do even learning, just read. Yeah. The second part to that is this. I'm a huge believer in time is irrelevant. So for me, the second part of this, Paul, and I say this with love and passion, I don't say anything with arrogance and ignorance, but I wouldn't tell my younger self anything. I would just open the door right now and just go 1,000,000 miles an hour. Yeah, I would just go right. The best time to start was 10 years ago, but if I can't do that, now's the time. So I'm just going to start now. So if you're listening right now and you're just like, holy shit, where do I start? Like, literally, this is below here is my bookshelf. There's a book, there's another book here. Like I've got books everywhere. So just start reading now. Start reading, start listening, get on more podcasts, just listen to people. But then what you learn on a daily basis, implement. You gotta implement, you gotta action. So that's a 2-part answer for me.
Awesome. And I've been following your post on LinkedIn, and you recently put, how many books have you read this year so far, which I thought was just wonderful, wonderful thing. And you're right. Once you've got it, information, that's where it comes back to the resilience journal. So I get that. Nothing like live podcasting.
This is my son. Welcome to COVID. This is standard. This is COVID life. So if you're watching out there, we apologize, but this is COVID life.
Hey, it's the live bits that make it fun. So it's
Yes, I'll be out there in a minute. Okay.
See, not only do you have to juggle businesses, but also we tend to forget that actually you're a parent too, and so no, it's it's always very nice. I love it.
Thank you.
Let's not keep the young sir waiting, because I know what they're like. We're on our last wish now. So the last wish is, what habit do you attribute to your success?
Oh. Wow. My exercise. Like if you can just quickly look in the background right now, that's my.
Wow.
So behind me is my studio where I started. I started as a personal trainer, and then I moved into wellness coaching and then mental health and growth. So I've always had my gym set up in my shed. My cars live outside. The shed houses my studio. My habit would be exercise. I train every day, and I train at an intensity. A little bit of backstory. I never made it into the army because I had calcification in my left knee. So I didn't want to go to the extent of getting it removed and just going into the army. But I've always had this inbuilt who dares wins, right? And that's the SAS mantra, who dares wins.
Exactly.
Yep. Who dares wins. So for me, my daily habit, or my habit that's contributed to my success, is truly like, if I need to get out of my head and back into my heart, it's like sweating it out. Because sometimes when we're in our head, we overthink stuff. That's where we can spiral. Sometimes we can live too far in the clouds. And, to drop myself back into a place of state of space and capacity, I exercise. And then the moment that I sweat it out, I just feel like grounded again.
No, I mean, it's great advice. I mean, it really is. And to find something which actually, as you say, keeps you grounded is the key. So
yeah.
No, well, look, fantastic value on the wishes. I feel like I'm leaving with plenty of cash in my pocket on that one. Now, given I know you love books, what's one of the books which you would recommend to the listeners?
Oh, man. Now you're hitting me. What a list I've got.
I thought I hit you in the weak spot there.
There are so many that I could recommend, literally. Like the names are flooding to me right now. But I think the biggest one for people as a starting place, it's The Energy Bus by John Godden.
Cool.
Now, the reason I recommend it is it's so funny. It's funny, but it's about understanding, and I don't want to give it away too much. It's about understanding that you are the driver of your bus. So the reason it's called the energy bus is because it's like you get to drive the energy, whether it's a 1 or a 10, right? You get to drive the energy. And the narrator, well, I listened to it on audio and I also read it, but the way he wrote the book is just so, I love it. Okay, I just need to tell you the story. Right, The Energy Bus by John Godden. The reason you need to get that is this, but this is why I love it. I've always wanted to join in those, the churches that they have in America where they've got the choirs, filled with the gospel singers. Right, I've always wanted to join them because I feel as if I've got a great voice. So I've always wanted to join them. Now, the narrator makes the driver of the bus has a gospel woman's voice. And the guy that comes on the bus, who's in a bad attitude, right? The story's about him. The guy that comes on the bus is like typical, family dad who's just, I guess if you stereotype, cranky and that type of stereotype, right?
Overworked, underpaid. That
Overworked, underpaid. Yeah. So when he gets on the bus, you can just imagine this high energy gospel singer with that type of voice is just like, oh, what's wrong with you, sugar? Like it's just perfect. And that's why I love it, because there's so much humor, but like it's lighthearted.
Yeah.
And she, through the book, teaches him how to just raise his level of energy and raise his level of consciousness. So it's a very, very simple book to start with. And I can't wait to meet him, because the way that he wrote the book was just, in my eyes, it was just brilliant, brilliantly written.
Well, to be honest, I'm a fan, and to hear you sing would be, that's for the next show. We'll get you to sing all the way through. How about that?
Cool.
There you go.
Cool. I'm happy with that.
So, fantastic stuff. Where can we find you? So tell us where we can get hold of you.
Okay, you can find me on Instagram under Addicted to Grow. You can find me on YouTube under Addicted to Grow. You can find me on Facebook group Addicted to Grow. And then you've got my name, Pjero Mardesic. You can find me on LinkedIn. As I said, the new LinkedIn branding's coming out on the 1st of November. So there's going to be 2 pages. There's going to be a group page. Like we're really blowing it out of the water. Where else can you find me? Gosh, the website, that's getting updated. So there's going to be like a new Kajabi platform, and there's personal development programs on there. There's a shop front. You can purchase merchandise. So, man, everywhere. And I'll send you the handles so that we can put them everywhere.
Awesome, and they'll be in the blurb below. So that's going to be fine. Wow, what a ride. I did promise you, ladies and gentlemen, that you'd need to hold on to your hats. Well, we had some songs in there. We had everything. But the Resilience Journal is a really fascinating thing. And I'm so pleased you're able to share that. Wonderful, wonderful things which are going on in your world.
Thank you.
And I am so very pleased, as I'm sure everyone will be, that you're in our world. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you so much.
So a last thank you to our fantastic Genie today. And I'd like you guys, you know what I'm going to say, is to go forward and release your Genie. Thank you for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time. Thank you very much, my honored Genie today.
Thank you, Paul.
See you next time, guys.
Well, that's a wrap. You have been listening to yet another episode of the Release the Genie podcast with host Paul Rogers. Be sure to follow Paul on the LinkedIn platform and learn more of Paul's resources at www.takeactionacademy.ca. And until next time, as always, be mindful and be sure to release your Genie. Thanks for listening.